What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're talking weekend league recap, past and present MLS squad building to success, or at least that was the initial plan. If you want more past and present, drop a like. I want to know in the comments what future challenges, which past and present. What do you want to see put into motion? We have a lot happening with Summer Heat. New drops, releases, promos, and it's starting to grow on me. Maybe because it's getting hot outside. If you don't realize how past and present works, every player in the starting 11 must have played in MLS or is currently playing in MLS. And the same applies to any other past and present squad builders. That was criteria. Also, no Pele did not technically play MLS. Same with Carlos Alberto. Cool. Also in the news, you don't need Keemstar. FIFA School, it's up and running. First upload. How to score more free kicks in FIFA 20. Let me know, what do you think of the channel? Brand spanking new. To go with that Patreon goodness. We're supplying everything you're looking for, myself and George. Hot fire. Did I mention it's hot outside? It's really hot outside. It's getting a lot hotter outside. I'm gonna have a tan soon. I'm going outside. Watch out. I got no beach plans, so I'm still kind of inside. FIFA School, clip breakdown. You want your clips broken down. Patreon that bad boy up. Seriously, thank you guys so much for all the support. We appreciate you. It's here. All right. Thierry Henry, of course, playing New York Red Bulls. 27 goals, 10 assists. But this is an excellent example of stats not meaning everything. They don't define how valuable a player is in all circumstances. It's not the absolute. A lot of those goals came early on in the weekend. Final 10 games wasn't nearly as active. I've said this before. I want to stand by it. Team of the season, Benzema. Kareem the Dream is better than any version of Henry. It comes down to mobility, and also Henry's passing is disappointing. It's lackluster. Those 10 assists, I was lucky to hit double digits, and I play the 4-4-2, which means my strikers are involved in everything. Loud stat lines. Believe it. I also used Prime Kaká. And I bring that up because I want to see what you have in mind for squad adjustments if you were building MLS past and present. Henry and Kaká partnership up front. It wasn't that prime time pairing. They were mutually exclusive. They didn't help each other. So it was one or the other. I decided to stick to Henry. Still gave us 27. Martinez. 18 goals, 24 assists. And I talk about statistics sometimes being inflated or not necessarily the say-all be-all with your expectation or your measurables. But I want to start out by saying this man's an acrobat, explosive. His statistics are extra legit. No fake boobs, no fake butt, everything natural. That's what I'm saying. Offensive weapon, AK-47, quick fire, all over the virtual pitch. And that 18 and 24, remember I told you stats are often inflated? This is the opposite. His stats are kind of shortened or maybe reduced. He was coming off the bench for the first 8 games this weekend league. So the majority of these numbers, these stat lines, happened in 21, 22 games where he got the full 90. He would have easily been a 25 and 25, 50 contributions. Would I use Martinez again? Yes, sir. In this case, keep the neck tattoos. We're not complaining. Giovinco. I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but he's one of those players that gives you more as a super sub in comparison to being a starter. And he's a particular or a specialist on the pitch. Remember, I'm playing 4-4-2. We're utilizing Giovinco as a winger. Touches, clean, crispy, reliable. But he needs more of them to create a larger degree of separation. And if the connection isn't on par, if you know you're going to play a lot of games in delay, these undersized players that have a certain body type or build, you can't have a lot of them, and you often don't maximize their potential. And that's how I feel with Giovinco. I would rather have him coming off the bench or playing in the middle of the pitch as opposed to a wing position where he got lost at times. And I might have to beat the same guy 2 or 3 steps this way or that way. His biggest advantage outside of the quickness are those additional touches that he has access to, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. Also his Achilles heel, if you don't take that extra touch, then he's not going to create a big lane of space. Pozuelo. Woo! Woo! Pleasant surprise. 10 goals, 4 assists. Anytime a winger or an outside midfielder for yours truly in the 4-4-2 gets you double digits for goals or even double digits for assists, he's doing his job. Remember, the majority of my play is based on getting the ball to the middle of the pitch. So typically, my strikers and one of my center mids, whoever's leaking forward, playing that offensive secondary center mid role, those guys put up numbers. And then my midfielders on the outside, you never know. Their contributions are measured in a different manner. And they often only play 65 to 70 minutes because I'm bringing in super subs. I've got my clutch devils that are coming in off the bench ready to impact matches. They're pissed off. They've been sitting, maxing, relaxing, trying to get some playing time. But Pozuelo, 5-star weak foot, and he has those turns, the effortless levels to cut inside. Just an ease to the releases. And another player that I did not use as a starter for the first 8 games. So he might have even had better numbers. Just throwing that out there. 5-star weak foot for 90,000 coins. Good ROI. Solid return of investment. Gerrard into the midfield. I knew when I set this team up, I was going to struggle with winning midfield battles. Gerrard's just not meta. Most effective tactics available. Gerrard's not in that collective. Excuse me, microphone. He's a middle of the road type of player. Call him how I see him. Not good enough or gifted with the correct statistical allocation to be an attacking mid. Also not big enough, bulky enough, or has that special defensive factor to be a holding mid. And then as a box to box, his agility's not there, stepping into space, 3-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves. He's not going to be able to penetrate the midfield. He's not going to give you the quickness that's necessary. He's not going to give you that innovation that you're craving. Just what we've gotten used to in FIFA 20. So those are your issues with Stevie G. Where the hell do you play him? Got to be some sort of center mid. If I redid this weekend league, I would try to rework this partnership. You use Lampard or Gerrard, then you're doing it for the love of the game. You appreciate these players. You have fandom because they just don't slide into what works in FIFA 20 naturally or organically. They're not going to give you that synergy you're looking for. Just not overpowered. As a Pirlo supporter, it made me happy to get him into the starting 11. Finally, 13 goals, 10 assists, playing in that, I call it a dynamic secondary center mid, the team of the season De Jong role. And he measured up from a statistical standpoint. But he's not saucy. He doesn't have the same explosiveness that I would prefer in this position. We know defensively, he's not going to be groundbreaking. That's not a surprise. You don't buy Pirlo for that. And what makes Pirlo and his passing so special never translates perfectly to FIFA. He could deliver from anywhere on the pitch. Pinpoint accuracy. Dropping dimes. Left, right, central. And we had a few through ball moments that just felt effortless. The nonchalant Pirlo and his 100 vision, perfect eyesight, 20/20, sees the lane, and made some passes that I know other players weren't capable of replicating on the virtual pitch. His dynamic capabilities just won't be at that elite tier for this position. And the floating mid, which is the likes of a Pirlo or a Scholes, even if Beckham was in FIFA 20, and I don't know when we're going to see him as an icon, I don't know his deal with Pro Evo or anything along those lines, it just doesn't translate to FIFA greatness. It has not paralleled what works in previous installments. And it's too bad because having that ability to spray the ball on the pitch should, in some form, in some way, be integrated into a FIFA installment where you receive the advantages. But it did feel nice having the Pirlo glow, the locks, they were on display, and he performed well. 23 contributions from a very important position on the pitch. I wish that he was a little quicker going forward, but having the skills was a nice touch, and he can finish a 1v1. Davies, one of the most talented individuals, but he's kind of like a dog that doesn't play well with others. I've used Davies in 3 weekend leagues, and his ability for his position, unquestionable, undeniable, premium, but spacing and gaps, open for business before you had braces. It just seems as if he's with a miscommunication with the other defenders or the center backs, or I get caught ball watching, or he's too much man marking. Something is a little bit off soft, but he has that natural athleticism to recover. And then when you have the ball offensively, gifted and talented. Tough passes, less than ideal scenarios, finding passes out of the back, deep releases, composure. It's all there. I still highly recommend Davies all day, every day. In fact, I made a video talking about the best left backs. Not going to say where I had him, but you should watch that video if you haven't already. I co-sign him, but I need to find his ultimate partner in crime. The center back next to Davies that's on the same page. They're reading the same book. They join the same club. They meet up weekly. They talk about everything. They open up about their feelings. Sounds like a different book, Mike. Lothar. This was a challenge. 5'9" center back. You can use players that are undersized in this position, but Lothar wasn't it. He didn't have that same, not only agility and side-to-side movement that you get from Cannavaro, but that X factor. I lost a lot of 50-50s with Lothar. 3 of my losses this weekend league, clear, night and day, due to RNG, random number generator. Just that a couple of my players weren't up to par if we're looking at not only the rating, but what players really fit the game mode. Lothar, I'd rather have as a center mid. If I could redo this, I would have upgraded, got his center mid item, and then somebody else would have slid in to be the center back pairing. I'm not sure who. I don't know. There were a few positions on the pitch. I was confused. I had to make or break what I thought would work best for a past and present, and we went with it as the games developed. My positioning was on point, anticipation, tackling, timing. It was all good just a week ago. Technically just a weekend ago. But we still had moments where the bounces just didn't go our way, and I felt that it was more so due to a player that maybe doesn't get those bounces. He's regularly going to miss out when you're going up against some of the top tier talent on display throughout a weekend league. Team of the season players greater than Lothar in this position. Opara, wow. He is worth getting into a starting 11. If you can somehow figure this out with chemistry, if you're not using MLS squads, he's a different type of animal. This is that post-radiation or mutation. He's a superhero. Stronger, faster, quicker, more athletic, smarter, better at anticipating. It's unbelievable. I would have Martinez as the clear best player in the team if it wasn't for Opara. And I play risky, aggressive. I go for challenges. This is similar to team of the season Ramos, but he's just a little bit bigger, more brawly, been in the gym, lifting, bench press, A1, steak sauce, extra barbecue, certified goodness. Herrera, probably the most underrated player in this squad. And we don't talk about fullbacks that much. They don't always get the credit because their credentials in terms of importance on the virtual pitch, it's a little bit lower. I've talked about this on numerous occasions. If I'm limited on budget, my cheapest players or the last players that I'm going to put priority are going to be my left back and my right back. I got to win the middle of the pitch first. Generally speaking, there's just more interchangeability where you get a similar result for fullbacks in FIFA. Bill Hamid, decent. And I know many of you are going to ask, when you see a goalkeeper 86 overall, not one of the household names, did you feel the upgrades? Was he significant? Did he let you down? Overall, I got what I expected and then some. He over-delivered. There were a couple moments I wasn't the happiest camper about. But what else is new with your goalkeepers? If you watched all the games live, twitch.tv/Mike LaBelle, then you saw him put on some clinics, make some big saves, key moments. He has the clutch trait. Full squad on display. Remember, in-game 4-4-2. Nani off the bench. Woo! He deserved to be a starter. Another player that I would figure out a way to get him into the starting 11 if I were to do this challenge again. Just deserves it. Has the skill moves. He's silky smooth, impactful, makes a difference. That extra bit of oomph. You feel me? Are we on the same page? Portuguese legend. Let's hit that recap. Quick fire style. Who would I use again? Who would I skip out on? I've got you covered. Overall, the team at this point of FIFA, I would say is about a 6.5 out of 10. If you're building a weekend league team, this squad is capable, but for sure, you're going to be at a disadvantage and plenty of your matchups, and some of the players just aren't meta enough. Maybe I'm being nice giving it a 6.5. Let me know your ratings in the comments for this squad. And also, what would you change? You're building MLS past and present. What shifts for you? Which players are in? Which players are out? You see my super subs. You see the full squad. But we're starting with Giovinco. Decent, but should be a super sub. I would rather have someone different starting in his position. Henry. We got got limited options. Martinez deserves a slot, maybe a different attacker. Switch our formations up, get us some wingers that can play as strikers, getting in behind. Gerrard, gotta go. Don't use Stevie G. High rated, but you just don't feel it. Doesn't mix and match well. Doesn't offer you enough assets on the pitch. Martinez, good money. Well spent. Yes. Complete him. Pick him up off the marketplace. He's allowed to have as many neck tattoos as he wants. And a weird penalty kick setup. I don't like his PKs at all. Pozuelo, little rerun. Definitely can get the job done. Winger, striker, attacking midfielder, 5-star weak foot. If you didn't have an MLS team as a super sub, it works out. Pirlo, I'm happy I used him. And he gave me numbers. I might have wanted a little bit more, but overall, I gotta be satisfied. Defensively, from an individual standpoint, both Davies and Opara. They're qualified, they're certified. A lot of weekend league experience. Lothar, you got to move around. Marrera is easy to interchange. We just have a lot of options that I feel that would do similar. I still say that he's underrated because you would have never gravitated towards him. And then Bill in goal, good for me. Hand clap. Thanks again for watching. If you're new to the channel, it is free to subscribe. I appreciate all of you lovely folks that have been tuning in constantly over the years. And we have a lot more content coming out for you ASAP.